Hello guys, welcome back to another video of mine. Not too long ago, I have received a request, or I saw someone asking for uh, capital ship compositions that they could place down on the mission file, so pilots could fight against them. I at the time had one magnificent composition laying around, set up with scripts and triggers and more, um, but it wasn't really ready to be given out to the workshop. So I've gone in, I've done some work, I've tested some stuff, and I got some capital ships here, three Magnificents, three Providences, and three Recusants that can be used, that can be shot down, and can be fought against as pilots. So the ships, what do we have? Well, we first have three Magnificents, we have three Providences, and three Recusants. For the Magnificents, it comes with guns and a missile turret. We have about 12 M910 point defense turrets on these Magnificents. We have a radar and we have a MSEV 97 or 79, sorry, A8 missile turret on this to defend this ship. All turrets are attached to a game logic to make sure that these don't fall to the ground and to make sure that they still can operate. Can you command the ship and set it to move somewhere? No, you cannot. It's a composition. However, as soon as the ship gets destroyed, this thing will actually become dynamic and fall down to the ground and leave a wreck behind. But how do we do that? Well, first, when you as a pilot start to dogfight such a composition, such a ship, you will obviously go after each turret. And when you destroy a turret, its crew will fall down to the ground. So, in order to prevent the crew falling to their death to the ground, I've set up a couple of triggers. All of these triggers you see right here, they are there on every single composition or every single ship, but they are specific for this ship, this Magnificent only, and they look for if a turret gets destroyed, it will also delete the crew of that turret. As soon as the turret crew has been deleted, the trigger will delete itself, so you don't have to clean it up afterwards. So I've got that set up for all turrets. I've got it set up for the radar. And as soon as all turrets, radar, and missile turret are destroyed, and they are empty of crew, then we will start the destruction sequence. The destruction sequence is as follows. We use a very nice script for that. This is the trigger all the way at the bottom, at the base of the terrain height of the map. And it basically looks for if a radar is alive, if the turrets are alive, and if they are not alive, then they will start to activate the script found on the activation field. So, how does the script work? Well, this script and this trigger are set up to only run once. If I would set it up so the trigger would run multiple times per player, or if the script was set up so it would run for every player, then you would most likely crash your server. But I've set up the trigger to run as server only, and the script is also set up in such a way that it only runs once and not more than that. So how have I managed to do that? Well, the trigger is set up as server only, execute as server only, and in the script we make a variable and we give the variable a value of true, and we stream this variable over your network so every single computer has the same value. We also set up a counter for a loop that we have here to count how many times the loop has ran, and I will explain that in a little bit more, or in a little bit of a moment. But first, we say, okay, if the value of third recurrent is equal to true, the script will execute, and as we just set it to true, it will definitely go execute. But in order to make sure that this script does not execute again, I've set it up so third recurrent now gets a new variable or value of false. This ensures that this script only runs once and not more than that. If it was going to run multiple times, then it most likely would end up in your server crashing, and that is the last thing that I want to have happen to you. Then we get to the explosions. Yeah, there are explosions. So we have a loop that runs about 35 times, and per cycle it creates 6 explosions at a random point in the world around the ship. We make sure that it only runs 1 or 6 explosions per second, so it doesn't make a huge lag spike or a frame drop when every single explosion goes off. At the same time, as soon as a cycle runs, we also make sure that the counter gets a value of +1, and this is a value that we look for the next part of the script. As soon as the loop has cycled for about 5 times, we start executing the next portion of the script, and that is that we set up a Republic transport on the position of the recurrent. We make sure that it is basically invisible. Now, one texture that I cannot hide is the glass texture, but the rest of the Republic transport should be invisible for you. Then what happens is I make sure that the damage of this Republic transport is set to false, and I basically attach the ship, the radars, and the turrets to this Republic transport, and it now goes down with the ship to the ground. Now, this goes down to the ground at some point. The loop is going to stop because it has ran for 35 times. You have seen a whole lot of explosions, and the ship is now sitting on the ground. In the script, in the demonstration, I'm only waiting for 60 seconds, 1 minute. But the script is set up to run or to wait for 600 seconds, or in this case 10 minutes. After it has waited for this set time, it will delete all the turrets, it will delete the radars, it will delete the logic entity to which the turrets and whatnot are attached, it will delete the trigger this is placed in, and it will delete the Republic transport. However, that is not everything. At the same time, when the ship is sitting on the ground and everything is being deleted, the ship itself is not being deleted, and instead of deleting more things, we actually create a couple of objects as well. We create some large craters, the airplane craters that you might have seen before as well, and we upscale this about 45 times their normal size. And these are placed along the length of the ship to mimic the fact that yes, this ship has crashed onto the ground and it has deformed the ground. Now, it is just a crater and has been scaled up with about 45 their normal size. This does mean that these objects do not have a collision anymore, so droids, players, vehicles, AI can move through these craters, so don't be fooled by them. They are just there for the aesthetics. And after that, that is basically the script of it. So, that is the Magnificent, and you have the turrets, and when the turret is destroyed, crew gets deleted, and once all turrets are destroyed, the destruction sequence starts. But that is only for the Magnificent. Every other ship that you see here works exactly the same. The same triggers are set up to detect whether a turret has been destroyed, and then the crew gets deleted. And the trigger at the bottom on the ground that detects whether all turrets are destroyed, and the destruction sequence begins. As I previously stated, for the Magnificent you have about 12 gun turrets and a missile turret, as well as one radar to make sure that the ship can see around and be a deadly adversary to watch your pilots. Now, the three Magnificents are equal in their capabilities. They all feature the same weapons, um, so there's so that is going to make it easier for you to place them around. If you want to change out a weapon, I would advise you to drag out the crew and then open up the turret, go to attributes of it, object type, and select your turret in here, so you retain the variable name of the turret. Otherwise, scripts, for example the one at the bottom on the ground, will not work properly anymore, and then your ship will not be destroyed. So if you modify it, make sure that you retain the variable names of the crew and of the turret. So that is the Magnificence. Are the Providences any different? As a matter of fact, yes they are. Providences feature a few more guns. Instead of 12 gun turrets, they feature about 16 gun turrets and one of those M79 AA missile turrets. And that obviously goes for the other two Providences as well. They are equal to each other. These also have belly turrets, just like the Magnificents have belly turrets and turrets upside down, so they can target everything below and above the ship, so be careful when you fight against them. Unlike the Magnificent, a Providence features two radars, one in the front of the ship and one here at the top spire, so it is a bit of a formidable adversary if you fight against it. And then we have the last ship in this line, which is the Recusant, and this is the lightest armored ship with only 11 M9 10-point defense turrets and no missile turrets, so only gun turrets to go up against it. So yeah, you can go in and you can destroy these ships, but you cannot move them in Zeus, so be careful with it. I'm going to show you now what happens when the ships get destroyed, and for the demonstration purposes I've set the timer up in such a way that after 60 seconds craters and stuff start appearing, but normally it is about 10 minutes for you. Let me quickly set up my view distance so we can actually see something, because right there we have the ships. Let me go and destroy the first ship, the first Magnificent, and we can see it going down. Explosions happen around it. And explosions will continue to happen on its way down to the ground. Now, to explain to you why I've set up the script in such a way that it would wait about 600 seconds or 10 minutes for it to delete everything. That is because, as you just could have seen, as you just have seen, when the ship comes crashing down towards the ground, that's Republic transport that is in the middle of the ship, makes contact with the ground, can bounce back up, and it takes a bit of time to settle. To ensure that it has enough time to settle down, I've set it up to where it can take up to 10 minutes for the scripts to execute, and then all the remaining gun turrets, missile turrets, logic entities, triggers are deleted off that composition of that ship, and some craters appear. Now I can do the same thing for the Providence. And I will do the same thing for the Recusant. Now, you see them rotate a little bit in a janky or jank manner. That is when the ships get attached to the Republic transport. And as you can see already here as well, the craters have appeared for this Magnificent. These ships in this composition are sitting up at a altitude of about 1000 meters, which is just enough time for them to land on the ground and to have the explosion stop on them. So, as you can see, the Providence is sitting a little bit higher off the ground when compared to the Magnificent. Magnificent is really low, laying on the ground, on its belly, on its wings. But this is being fixed by the illusion of those craters. Now again, note that if you have those craters, like these ones, they do not have a collision. AI do not see them. They will go right through. Blaster bolts will go right through. So don't be fooled by them being cover, because they are definitely not any cover to you at all. And as you can see, we now have a crater around the ship to really show that, hey, this ship has gone down. As I got my interface still showing, you can see myself as a player. But it is also to show you that, hey, yeah, the turrets are actually all gone. This means that there is no cleanup for you to do. You don't have to keep watch about this stuff and clean stuff up yourself. And that the same thing goes for the Recusant. Turrets are gone. The radar inside is gone. There's no cleanup for you that you have to do. So that is basically the composition at this time. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please let me know. In my compositions, or on the workshop page of my compositions, I place a link to my Discord channel. If you have any comments, concerns, or if you have an issue with placing them down, you can contact me there and I will help you out with fixing it. Even if I have to stay up late and make sure that the mission for tomorrow, or even for today, functions properly, then I will just come in and help you out to the best of my abilities. Now, it can happen that you want to have a 4th Magnificent, a 4th Providence, a 4th Recusant on your map. If you want to do that, then you will have to go in and actually edit the scripts and everything yourself. It is a bit of a process to do that. So if you want to avoid it, I would recommend you to use any of the 9 ships that come in this single composition. And I think 9 ships should suffice your needs on your missions, or at least your pilot's needs. So these are the ships. Again, they are dynamic or static at first, and dynamic once you destroy them. This is not a mod, this is a composition that you can download from the workshop. I hope you get to enjoy them. I hope you will have a lot of fun with these ships coming crashing down towards the ground. Even if you have to use them in single player to use them for screenshots, then please make some screenshots and let me know, because I always like to see those screenshots. I always like to see the art that you people create with them. So yeah, have fun with them. And if you have any comments, concerns, or questions, just let me know and I will help you out.